Said you've been so good to me. Said you've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. Y'all ready? You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and roll my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. Take it easy, take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. Little bit something now.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Marcella, and today I'm here with Scott Jones at the Cleveland Music Group. Scott Jones, tell us a little bit about yourself and the business you have here.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Happy to be here. I am the president and one of the lead DJs, although I don't DJ much here at Cleveland Music Group. But we've been around for 25 years. I've been the owner, because the company wasn't Cleveland Music Group before I got here, but I've been the owner for 15 years. But we are a full-service music and entertainment company that specializes in the wedding industry and social events and country clubs and casinos. And we do things like live bands, DJs, jazz groups, string ensembles, specialty acts, and then we dabble in lighting and photo booths. Yeah.
Awesome.
Lots of fun stuff.
I went to one of the concerts the other day, or not concert, but wedding, and they had the band called the Orchestra playing. Yep. And I was not expecting that full roster. They had piano, guitar, 2 singers, and they were really good.
3 horns, bass.
3 horns, yeah.
It's a 9-piece band, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a big band.
Yeah.
Jazz, but playing like pop music.
They do it all. Everything from, Sinatra to Lady Gaga, and man, I'm going to age myself because I can't even keep up with all the new music these days.
They played some Whitney Houston.
Oh, good.
Of course.
Good,
That one.
Yeah.
I Want to Dance with Somebody. I mean, you got to play.
Classic.
Yeah. All right, so what got you into DJing? Let's run it back to the good old days.
I was studying mass media and communications at Cleveland State University. I quickly realized college was not for me. Stay in school. I realized college wasn't for me. I was up late one night. There's this commercial on TV for the Ohio Center for Broadcasting, which was a broadcasting school, and I always wanted to just be an on-air terrestrial radio DJ. And so I started going to the Ohio Center for Broadcasting, which is now the Ohio Media School, and ironically it's a mile away from my office. It's still in existence. And while I was going to school there, I started internships at Jammin' 92.3, which is like in the late 90s, early 2000s. Radio station, Magic 105.7, WZAK. And while I was interning there, I met a really good guy named Big Dave. He was a producer and morning show host for Jammin' 92.3. Mm-hmm. And with his help, I started DJing. And then I started DJing at bars and clubs, and then it turned into this internet radio station thing called clevelandhits.com, which I was part of for a couple years. And lo and behold, I answered an ad in the paper, and the ad was for a guy named Jerry Bruno, who was the original founder of our company called Jerry Bruno Productions. So I started with him in 2000, and in 2010 I bought him out. He moved to Florida, and in 2013 we rebranded. So long story short, I wanted to be on the radio. Mm-hmm. Then it turned into being a wedding DJ or a club DJ. Then it turned into being a wedding DJ, and then it turned into a business owner.
Mm-hmm. Has the technology changed a lot, or
and
what did you start off on?
I didn't start until like the CD era.
Okay.
I was past the cassette tape era. I was past the vinyl era. But I started in CDs. I had tens of thousands of CDs by the time I stopped. And it's ironic once you switch to the technology of I never used Napster. Mm-hmm. Do you know what Napster is?
Is that like the sample?
LimeWire?
Yeah.
See, this is like before you. It was like the illegal way to share music through the internet before you were born. But then iTunes popped up, and
so it's got digital downloads.
It was all digital downloads.
Okay.
Yeah. And so as those things started to come about, everybody started becoming digital DJs. And at one point, I literally threw away all of my CDs.
You did?
What are you gonna do with them? Do you own a CD?
I actually do. I bought some from the thrift store the other day.
Yeah, because they're like thrift store.
Right.
Like.
Yeah.
If you're in the industry, you'll never need a CD. So it's like it literally just took up like too much space in my office. And I'm like, this is
Yeah.
pointless.
True.
Pointless.
Yeah, I mean, I do use streaming platforms and stuff to listen
Yeah.
to music, but I think the trend of going back to analog is starting to come about.
That's been going on
Just
for a
like
while.
owning your own music, I
Vinyl?
guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Vinyls
Yes.
are cool.
Yes.
CDs are cool. I just don't have a vinyl player, so I
Yeah.
bought a couple CDs for my car. But yeah, I don't own a CD player or anything
Yeah,
like that.
for the industry, I feel like, having that instant gratification. If somebody needs something, you can download it really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I started DJing, if somebody asked for a song or needed something for a particular event, I would have to visit Record Exchange, Best Buy, Circuit City until I could find that album with that song on it. It was a pain.
Yeah.
Now in 2 seconds I could pull it up at a gig and plug in
Right.
my phone and play it. So
Yeah.
it's not a concern anymore.
Mhm.
Music is so accessible. So
What does a typical day look like for you as president?
um well, once I get to the office, it's basically a lot of emails. A lot of emails, a lot of contracts, a lot of accounting. It's a lot of texting. Thank God for my Mac because I communicate by text a lot and everything's there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a lot of, as my dad would have said, it's just a lot of paper pushing. Keeping up with all the accounting and finances, making marketing decisions. But I live my life pretty much in emails because people nowadays don't like to be on the phone, so it's usually text and emails all day long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. How do you manage your team? What does your staff look like?
In office, there's only 4 of us that are here on the daily. Myself, 2 talent specialists, which is basically just fancy word for sales reps, our office manager, and then I have 2 part-timers, one that maintains our website and does our e-marketing, and then another, her name's Angel, that handles all of our social media across all of our accounts. And they do that remotely, and we communicate on a weekly basis. But our in-office staff, there's just 4 of us. Majority of our staff is 1099 employees, which is subcontracted talent, and that's our guitarists, our drummers, our keyboard players that we contract on an individual basis for the events that we're hired to do,
Okay.
including our DJs. And that number is, we have hundreds and hundreds of people that are in our system.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how do you decide like who should play where and stuff like that?
We actually don't decide. Our model is built in a way where all of our bands, all of our DJs, all of our ensembles are featured on our website and with videos and song lists and audio clips. And our clients come to us and they say, we're hosting an event. We're looking for a band in this price range on this date. So then we tell them who's available. These are the options. Here's some links. They pick the band that they want.
Oh.
And then we contract that band for them or the DJ or the ensemble.
Right.
So our clients technically pick. And then we are just managing the expectations of the client, making sure that the talent knows where they're going, that everything's paid for, the timeline's in place. But yeah, we just act as an agent in that respect to make sure that all the pieces and parts are moving. But our clients do pick exactly what they want.
Okay. How do you determine like what price is set for a specific artist?
That's a really good question. I think the market has a lot to do with it. In business, somebody told me a long time ago, you buy as low as you can, you sell as high as you can.
Mm-hmm.
You keep what's in the middle. So for us, we have a really good sense of what the market will bear, for X size band, etc. We work with our bands and they say this is what we need to make, and then we charge a 15, 20, 25, 30, depending on the client, situation, location, on top of that in terms of percentage. So, but we have a pretty good idea of just what the market will bear based on what we see across the country in different cities like Chicago, New York, LA, and we just sort of everybody's copying each other, right? And over the last couple of years, I can tell you that the average wedding band, the average price for a band has gone up significantly from the average being $4,000 or $5,000 to really being close to $8,000 or $10,000 for a wedding band. in our Cleveland market. So we just kind of watch the trends and we listen to what the talent needs. If the talent needs this, we have to market up to that. And then our clients that trust us to, curate the right entertainment for them, we make sure that, it works within their budget. So sometimes we have to fall below a 20-25% commission to make it work. And sometimes we have room to play with it a little bit.
So do the wedding planners pay you and then you disperse to the artists and sort of take your percentage of it? Or do they like pay the artist and you separately? Or how does that transaction go?
So each one of our clients, whether they're doing a band or a DJ, they're receiving a contract from Cleveland Music Group that is the total price. There is no difference when a client sees it, whether it's a wedding planner or a corporate client or a casino or whatever. When they see the contract, they're only seeing the gross price. So all payments come through Cleveland Music Group, and then on the inside, we distribute the funds to the talent based on the needs of the individual band or ensemble.
Okay, cool. Do you take like the same percentage of that gross income, the same across the board for all your artists?
Nope, everything's different. DJs generally is a little bit heavier in terms of what we take, but it really depends on the artist, the style, the individual. Everything's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Next.
Buy low, sell high.
Yes. Okay. We'll remember. Are you into the stocks then? Is that what?
I do it. Yes, I pay attention to the stock market. Yes.
I should probably start getting into that, huh?
Yeah, the sooner the
Maybe.
better.
Okay. Yeah. All right. How do you find new artists to add to your roster?
Years ago, I would play around at Google. I'd stop out at clubs and restaurants. But now we're at a point where people tend to find us. We have a form on our website for people that submit inquiries, and people come to us. And then I just have friends that'll be like, hey, I was just at this bar. Check out this group. It just happened last night, and I talked to a performer this morning, just solo keyboard guy, who's super soulful. His name's Tone. Nickname is Tone, but it's super awesome talent, and we're working. I already had a conversation with him this morning about coming in, having a conversation to try to help him find some performances in our market. So lately, it's just people referring them to us. Yeah.
Okay. Do you find that there's a demand for a certain genre or type of group?
For our industry, because we're specialized in the wedding industry, I'm really only looking for people who do covers. Like, if you've got an insane songwriting ability and you write all originals and your library is mostly originals, I probably can't use you, although I would encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. But for us, we're just looking for people that do, pop covers from, 1960 till today. Aretha Franklin, to... Benson Boone. Is that his name?
Yeah, Benson Boone.
Benson.
These beautiful
Yeah.
things that I have done. Yeah, I guess people at an event do want to hear what they know already.
What they recognize.
Yeah.
If you're going to a bar or a restaurant or club, I think people should, have to listen to whatever the restaurant or club or bar owner or musician is playing. But when you're attending an event and you anticipate, you want people to stay and you want people to enjoy the night, you want people to dance, consume booze, and have a good time. They're only going to do that when they recognize songs. So no original music at weddings ever. It's got to be covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that, do you have like a certain go-to song when you feel that the crowd needs a little extra boost?
Again, as a DJ who used to do 40 or 50 events every year, and now I'm down to like one or two because I'm concentrating on working on the business and not in the business lately. When I was doing a lot of weddings, the go-to song was always Usher's Yeah. Once the dance floor was open. I mean, that was just always the go-to song. I always started the night with Run Around Sue by Dion and the Belmonts. Because it's got this like slow intro and then it picks up and it's kind of mid-tempo, and it's always important to start at a wedding as a DJ with older music so that you get the old people out first.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a great one to do that, is to bring out all the old people, because
Yeah.
older people don't need liquid encouragement to fill a dance floor.
True.
Younger people need liquid encouragement to fill the dance floor. So the later in the night the evening gets, the newer the music tends to get.
Wait, that's an
Older-
interesting point.
Older people tend to get tired early and
Yeah.
they fade. Younger people get more energy later, so it builds. So music at most weddings starts old and gets new.
Why do you think that is? That older people are just more,
Because they're comfortable
Comfortable?
with who they are.
yeah,
They're with their spouse or their loved one. They're with their family. They don't forgive the expression. They don't give a shit what people think.
hmm
Younger people have, an image to uphold.
yeah,
And they need a little bit more encouragement. Or they're still sitting at their tables drinking or having a cigar or whatever it is. But
Right.
it's just how it typically works at most weddings.
hmm
It's easier to get younger people to dance to older music than it is to get older people to dance to younger music.
yeah,
And it's because you're forced as a younger person to listen to whatever music your
Right.
parents were listening to.
hmm
So it's easy to get kids to dance to older music at the
Mhm.
start of the night than it is to get older people to dance to younger music later, because I don't listen to what my kids listen to. I
Mhm.
listen to what I want to listen to, but they definitely listen to what I listen to because I made them
Yeah.
listen to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know like every Leonard Skinner song because of
Yep.
my dad. You know,
Yep.
I totally get that.
Fond memories of driving in the car and listening to Creedence Clearwater Revival with my
Mhm.
parents, and but yeah.
Good stuff. What are some marketing strategies that you use to get the Cleveland Music Group's name out there to people who want to book for events?
Well, because we're so heavily focused on the wedding industry in Northeast Ohio, actually right here. So Today's Bride is a huge resource. Today's Bride magazine. They also have a huge bridal show. They have an online presence. And then nationally, there's websites like The Knot and Wedding Wire. So we really put most of our marketing dollars into Today's Bride, The Knot, and Wedding Wire.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Lee, who's on our team that maintains our website, she also works on our SEO through Google. And honestly, other than that, it's just massaging the relationships that you currently have. So
Mhm.
wedding planners, venue owners, country club managers, connecting with the people that send people your way, and just taking them out to lunch and letting them know that you're thinking about them, and that's where we get the most benefit. Is just massaging the relationships you currently have.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean like giving them gift cards or sending them money or commissions. It means none of that. It just means being a good person, providing a good service, and occasionally maybe taking them out to lunch or something just to talk shop and reconnect. And that goes a long way.
Have you ever advocated for arts funding or applied to grants through like government?
I
At
have
all?
not.
No,
No.
haven't worked with the government at all.
Nope.
Okay.
Other than when I bought Cleveland Music Group, at the time
Uh-huh.
it was Jerry Bruno Productions. I had to get an SBA loan to purchase the business from the previous owner. Never, other than that, had to use or reached out to get any government help of any kind.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
How about COVID? Did COVID?
Oh, don't even get me started. COVID was a nightmare. Obviously, in the special events industry, we weren't allowed to gather.
Mhm.
So it was a horrible 18 months. Actually, we just passed 5 years, which is crazy.
I know.
I saw that on the news.
It's crazy.
The blink of an eye. So I never want to go back. I never will go back. If it happens again, I'm closing up shop and I'm leaving. It was horrible. But we made it through.
How did you make it through? What did you have to do?
Well, our office is situated in a way where we only stayed away for the 2-week quarantine period, and then we all have our individual offices here. So it made it really easy for us to continue to work. But we really spent a year just taking a contract and moving it, and then moving it, and then moving it. There was no new business coming through, but we had to be here to answer calls and emails to let our couples know that we're not going to leave you high and dry. Our company's not going anywhere. But I spent an entire year, made $0, just moving, this band contract to this date. And then, oh no, the government shut us down again, and then moved it to this date. There were some clients that moved 3 or 4 times before they ever landed, which was just a lot of paperwork, a lot of phone calls and emails. Luckily, everybody was in the same boat. So, people were okay not making any money for a year because nobody was making any money here in our industry for a year. But it all worked out and we got through it. I just don't ever want to go back.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I hope you don't have to.
Same.
How did you start up after all of that? How'd you get things back rolling?
It naturally just started, slowly the phone calls started coming in for new events and then new events and less cancellations and less postponements. And we were very, very thankful that we do around 1,400 events every single year. And I would say that COVID year, 2020, we probably only had like a 10% cancellation, meaning at the end of the day, we had 10% of our clients that year that just said, we're not getting married, send us our money back.
Ooh.
That's great, 10%.
Yeah.
The rest, I would rather do postpone, and eventually have the event than a straight up cancellation. Mm-hmm. So it was hard to navigate, but we got through it. But it just sort of naturally came back on its own.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Well, do you keep up with like emerging media like TikTok or Spotify or all that Gen Z jazz?
I mean, I've been a Spotify subscription holder for a long time. Mm-hmm. I have all the stuff. I only have a TikTok account because my oldest son, is a big TikToker, and he makes a good living on TikTok. But his is not music related; it is video game related. And actually, Jordan on my team, we're going to be starting a TikTok channel here at Cleveland Music Group, and it's going to be basically just all about our brand and our talent. Mm-hmm. So that'll be starting this summer. But we do have all the other social platforms. We have hundreds of videos on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and X and all that good stuff, which showcases all of our talent.
Yeah, it really does. I think it's very important to get out there on the TikTok world because...
Is that your favorite? As a college soon-to-be graduate, which social media platform do you rely on?
Well, I use Instagram and TikTok mainly, and I feel like TikTok, I will go on there if I need to check out like what a venue is like or something like that, or where should I go if I, go to Paris, for example. I was on TikTok, like seeing what are the coolest venues in Paris and all that, and whatever came up was sort of made like for my audience. I feel like TikTok is, knowingly for the younger generations, and it's just easier to digest, I feel, than a Yelp review maybe, or like you just kind of get the visual aspect of it and a cool song over it, and it's like, wow, I want to go there. You can totally glorify something on TikTok.
It's addictive.
Yeah, it is. What skills do you think are most important for someone who is interested in maybe doing some live entertainment, DJing, or?
Well, first you need skills.
Right.
Although I have no skills. I have I can't sing. I don't play an instrument. I tried playing piano when I was a child, but didn't have the dexterity or I don't know what else you need, but it wasn't for me. I fell into DJing. I feel like I'm a mediocre DJ, but in the wedding world, if you're a mediocre DJ, but you have great personal skills and a gift of gab and are just a good person that understands how to take care of people, you can do really well in the wedding world, because you don't have to be a wizard musically. You lie in the music, you learn how to mix. I can beat mix, I can transition well, like I know songs, I know artists. I wouldn't say I'm an awesome DJ, but I'd say that I'm really good at what I do because I listen to the couple's needs and I'm attentive. And I always told people when I was doing 50 weddings a year, if you need me to carry your purse out to your car, I'll carry your purse out to your car. I don't care. I'm not beneath it. Like I know I'm your DJ, but I'm here to make you have a good time. And if you having a good time is me helping in any way possible, going to get a drink from the bar for you, whatever, I don't care. I'm here for you. That's the important part. And so you don't have to be super musically talented, but you do have to have the ability to communicate well, be detail-oriented, be current, and to be a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think... I'm not educated or trained in accounting. I'm not an attorney. I'm not good with science. I'm not great with math, but I figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All the things that I need to do here. I didn't go to school, and I think I did pretty well. So I did go to Cleveland State for a minute, but so my biggest piece of advice, if you're looking to get into the industry, is for anybody, is knock on doors, and when they open, walk through them. You never know who's on the other side or what could come of it. Could be a big waste, or it could turn into your future. You just don't know, but you don't know unless you try.
Right.
I believe in omens. I have omen tattooed on my arm. Like, everything happens for a reason. You got to look for signs.
Yeah.
In the stars, so to speak. Like, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for answering an ad in the paper. Yes, people used to put job postings in the paper. Yes, I know, it's
What's
crazy.
the paper?
What's the newspaper? But that one answer of an ad turned into me being where I'm at today, in a position I am with my family and my businesses. Because instead of, in addition to Cleveland Music Group, I do some commercial real estate. I have an Airbnb. I own a wedding venue in Chagrin Falls called Sun Valley, Ohio. So all of that wouldn't have been possible without answering that single ad. So like, what you think might be very minute in your life could be the one thing you trace back to in 20 years that you're like, holy shit, if I didn't do that one thing, where the heck would I be?
The butterfly effect.
Like
crazy.
That one thing can completely change. So it might seem small at the time, but take a risk. Yeah, open doors.
Yeah. Do you have one thing that you wish you could have changed throughout the trajectory of your career, or any mistakes that you've made to
Charge more sooner?
Charge more sooner.
I went to a convention, a DJ convention years ago, and at the time I think I was booking as a DJ for like $1,250 or something like that for 5 hours. And at this convention, they're like, if you're not charging $2,500, you're doing something wrong. And I got home and I was like, I should charge $2,500. So I immediately changed my pricing to $2,500, like doubled my price, and didn't slow anybody down. They just kept booking. And I would have went on for years probably with small increment changes. And it was that convention where somebody was like, charge what you're worth, and if they don't like it, they weren't your client. So from a cost perspective, or cost analyst, or however you want to look at it, charge what you're worth. And if I would have done that years in advance, I don't even know where I would be. But I'm glad I learned it at that time. And then $2,500 became $5,000. The last time I booked a wedding, I was charging $5,000 just for me to show up and DJ a wedding for 5 hours. Like, who else is getting paid $1,000 an hour to do something?
Yeah.
But that comes with experience too. So I've been in this industry a long time. So I think the one thing is, charge what you're worth sooner. That's what I would have changed.
And so you figured out to do the $2,500 after you heard someone else was doing $2,500. So do you sort of have to keep an eye out for who's getting what in the industry, and like check out your competition?
I think that's a healthy thing to do, is always check out the competition constantly. If not, yearly, at least every couple years, pay attention to what your top 3 competitors in your market are doing and what they're charging. And if you have to, create a spoof account, email them and get answers that you need. It's healthy competition. So yeah, 100%, you need to keep an eye on what other people are doing.
Right. When you say spoof account and like email them, it's always kind of a touchy subject to ask someone like how much they're getting paid. I feel like, how would you approach that? You
mean how much they charge or how much they're getting paid?
How much they, I guess, are charging, yeah.
I mean, we've done it to our competitors. We create just generic emails that's like Stacy and Dave's 2026 wedding or whatever at gmail.com, and then you send out inquiries to see what people send back. So that's what I mean by spoof account.
Okay.
Like, you can create an identity for yourself to shop your competition. Everybody does it, and if you're not doing it, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like you have to be aware of what people charge.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just go on to Amazon and type in I need a DJ and then see 12 options. So you have to be more creative. So getting a burner phone for texting, like whatever you want to do, right? Like I'm sure there's people, we get shopped here all the time. I know we get shopped here all the time. So it's just part of the business.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you one final question. Thank you so much for being a trooper. And I'm going to ask you this last one. It's going to be the most important of them all. It's not even on the list.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Yeah.
What's your zodiac sign?
Is that like I'm not really big into this stuff. I think I'm a Cancer. Is that a sign?
Well, when's your birthday?
June 30th. I'm a Cancer.
Yeah, you're a Cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why are you asking that?
I just feel like I need to know what sign people are.
What sign are you?
Sagittarius.
I don't know what that means.
It's okay.
Is that an August thing?
No, it's December.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just like a funny little question I'm throwing in at the end.
If I say I'm a Cancer, what does that tell you?
It tells me that you're fake. And when I'm just kidding.
Holy shit.
No, Cancers are I feel like they're kind of gentle and kind, but very friendly. And they're a water sign.
Water sign, like I like water? Because I love, like not drinking water technically, but I love being in the water.
Yeah, I guess like water versus earth are very different things. Like water is kind of you flow with your intuition, and I guess moving and believing in omens and kind of going with
fluid.
Yeah, fluid.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I associate water signs with, is fluidity.
Okay.
And then whereas earth is kind of more structured,
Yeah.
and water can be unbalanced at times,
Yeah.
and so it's good for a water sign to work with the earth sign, or be in a relationship with an earth sign or something like that.
I'm gonna have to look all this up. I've never paid any attention to that stuff.
I just kind of look at it for fun, and my mom's super interested in it, so she's told me all the things over the years, and it's just interesting to sort of compartmentalize people's personalities.
Yeah.
And whether you believe in it or not, I'm not going to sit here and say that someone's a certain way because they're a Cancer or whatever, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, you're a Sagittarius. Got it.
Sagittarius.
All right. Look it up.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
Again. That concludes this episode. See you guys on the flip side. All right.
Thank you.
Cheers.